Mr. Buckner.
Here.
Reverend Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Gilstrap.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Here.
Mr. Raleigh.
Here.
Mayor Saunders. Mr. Shanks.
Here.
Mr. Vogler.
Here.
Okay, please stand for invocation and prayer tonight given by Council Member John D. Gilstrap.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we give thanks for another day. We give thanks for the fine citizens of Danville, Virginia. And we give thanks for the opportunity to serve these citizens. As we go about our city business tonight, guide us that we might use wisdom, we might be patient, and make decisions that are pleasing to you. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Gilstrap. Under announcement and special recognition, I'd like to ask Mr. Greg Kerr if he would come forward and any guests that he may have with him. Would like to formally recognize you all tonight. And it is special recognition. Whereas the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company broke ground in Danville on December 15, 1965, and construction began in March 1966. And whereas the Goodyear Danville plant cured its first tire on November 26, 1966. And whereas more than 100 million truck and aircraft tires have been produced for the world market in the Danville plant. And whereas Goodyear Danville is the largest producer of commercial truck and bus tires in North America, as well as aircraft tires. And whereas Goodyear Danville initially produced bias truck and aircraft tires, but its production schedule has evolved to meet constantly changing market conditions, with the plant now producing radial truck tires, bias aircraft tires, and radial aircraft tires, with Goodyear Danville being the exclusive producer of Goodyear's newest medium radial truck steer tires, the G399 LHS. And whereas Goodyear Danville is Danville's largest employer, with approximately 2,162 employees. And whereas Goodyear Danville supports an estimated $1.25 billion in total output in cumulative value of products and services for the Danville micropolitan area. And, yeah, I'm proud to say Danville, that's right. And whereas Goodyear Danville annually sponsors one of the premier golf tournaments in the area, the Ed Steffi Memorial Education Open, and is a supporter of many special community activities each year. Now, therefore, I, Sherman M. Saunders, Mayor, City of Danville, do hereby commend Goodyear Danville on its 50th anniversary in Danville, Virginia, and wish them many more prosperous years in our community. Given under my hand this 5th day of May, 2016, Sherman M. Saunders, Mayor of Danville. Congratulations.
Mr. Mayor, you covered everything, so I had all kinds of statistics, but you had them right down, so thank you very much. You know, I've only been with the company, or the plant here 6 weeks now, but I've been with Goodyear for 8 years, so I don't feel right standing up here. But on behalf of the entire Goodyear team in Danville, I thank you very much. You know, as you said, Goodyear does a lot for Danville, but Goodyear does not forget what Danville does for Goodyear. Especially during the last couple of weeks with the tragedies we've had, it's a very tough time. And, you know, that meant a lot to the people. When people called out here, we expressed it to the team members, so it meant a lot to the folks at the plant. And all I can say is thank you, and we look forward to another 50 years of good service in Danville. Jeff?
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Jeff Dixon. I'm Vice President of Local 831, and to Mayor Saunders and the council, and congratulations to all those who were reelected. We want to thank you for this special recognition, especially from our employees. The plant's 50 years old. We do have some employees at 43, 44, 45 years service, but they're starting to move on. So over 2,000 strong, as the mayor stated. We have about 1,300 retirees, hourly and salary, that are involved as well. We were chartered 1 year after the plant opened as United Rubber Workers. We were rubber workers until 1995 when we merged with the Steelworkers International Union. At that point, we became the second largest union in the state of Virginia, second only to the shipyard in Newport News. As he's also stated, the mayor covered several things. The Ed Steffi Open, I worked with Mr. Steffi as well. He was in our plant twice, 2 different stints. We also contribute a lot to the God's Pit Crew organization, the Danville Life Saving Crew, and many other charitable things. So our people, hourly and salary, are proud to accept this on behalf of them. Greg and I do this jointly, and we're proud of our plant, and we're proud to be in the city of Danville.
Thank you so much. And what I like to do, I'm going to ask each council person if they have any comments to make in just a moment. And before I do that, sir, in reading the proclamation, I worked at Goodyear, and I built on the U-2s, so I know the plant very well. You started in 1966 in your construction, and I also helped build the plant on the Ray Construction Company, so I know your company from beginning until as we speak. One thing, if you will explain to us, for those who do not know, bias tires. If you explain what bias tires are.
Well, the bias tires are the old style tires that are going out of business. We'd still have bias aircraft tires. The FAA, the tires go with the plane. So they have to be qualified with the type of plane you have. It takes 3 years to qualify a tire. We are now emerging into the radial market, and we are taking some business away from Michelin, which we're proud of. And we have some of the newest equipment in the radial aircraft section of our plant. We actually have had about 40-something expansions in this plant.
Great company, great employees, salary, hourly, appreciate all you do, and especially for investing and staying right here in Danville. Mr. Campbell.
Yes, it's hard to imagine Goodyear not being in Danville. The impact that Goodyear has upon survival of Danville. We're just thankful and appreciative and all of the employees that work for Goodyear. And we're just looking for the expansion and growth and for the future. Just thank you and Goodyear Corporation for being here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Shanks.
I also would like to thank you for your presence here in Danville and the work that all the folks at Goodyear do for the community as well as for the company. I have fond memories of Goodyear coming to Danville. I lived over in Grove Park when so many kids moved into the Southwick Farms in Grove Park neighborhood that came in from Akron or other Topeka, or other locations of Goodyear plants, and there were just grade school friends go back a long ways, and there were so many new ones that came to town when y'all came to town. And I also remember my dad was doing the engineering for the road that goes in front of the plant and for the sewer lines and the water lines. And I can remember as a child, it was a rush job. I can remember as a child riding out with him to look over the construction. So I have many fond memories of Goodyear, and I hope to see many more.
Thank you. Mr. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, 2 out of the 3 closest houses to mine are Goodyear people. With over 2,000 workers, I'm sure all of us have Goodyear workers that live nearby. So truly, you are our neighbors and our friends and our family. So it really tears at our hearts when you have tragedies like that, because these are our neighbors or our family. But we stand behind you. We stand behind Goodyear, and it's just a wonderful asset to our community. So thank you for what you do.
Mayor, I also worked at Goodyear, and I know your struggles. I didn't have the misfortune to build those U2 tires, but what a great asset you guys are to our community, especially the workers and everything that they do in our community. Thank you so much for your continued commitment to Danville, and all the expansions sound great to me. Keep them coming. And all that business you're stealing from Michelin, let's keep it up. Thank you so much.
Mr. Manager.
I also want to thank Goodyear for your presence in our community. You know, it's obviously a huge asset to the people that live here. Not only providing jobs, but also, like you were describing, all the great community activities that you're involved in that make this community what it is, a nice place to live. And I look forward, I believe next Friday, I'm coming down to, with our Economic Development Director, Telly Tucker, to see you for a little bit. I look forward to that opportunity and seeing what you've got going on down there. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Attorney.
I'd like to thank Goodyear. Being a lifelong Danvillian, I'm like Councilman Campbell. I can't imagine Danville without Goodyear and all the good things that you all do. And as always, I pledge the support of our office to do anything that we can ever do to help you.
Okay, Mr. Raleigh.
Yes, I had the pleasure to work 9 months in construction work on one of the 40 expansions back in about 1971 and 72. But to think what you just said, 40 expansions, that tells me one thing: you got a good workforce. To have a company, you don't see plants around 50 years anymore, and to have 40 expansions, that tells me a lot about the workers. And Greg, welcome to Danville. We're glad to have you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Ms. Vogler.
Yeah, thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for all that you do. To have an internationally recognized company like Goodyear in our city, is the impact can't be spoken in words. It is tremendous. Goodyear is Danville, and Danville is Goodyear. As many people have mentioned, we know people who work there. You know, I have a lot of family that's working there right now, and so you're just embedded into our community, a huge part of what Danville is. And I look forward to seeing where we go and grow into the future. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones.
Greg, welcome to Danville. Thank you all. One of the things that you utilize is United, and over the last couple of months, you all have been united. Thank you all so much. We've been praying with you and for you, and as Forrest stated, I don't know what Danville would do without Goodyear. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Gilstrap.
I've never worked at Goodyear, but I have worked with Goodyear many times. And
Could you let me see the work
from
session?
everything from sponsorships of athletic events and tournaments to, well, I take that back. Goodyear has worked me over many times on that golf course. It usually gets the best of me. But welcome to Danville. Thank you, Goodyear, and we will continue to work with you.
Thank you very much.
Again, we thank you for your investment in our city. We thank you for all the work that the men and women do at Goodyear. We're so sorry for those who have been injured and or lost their lives. We certainly pray for the families, and we're thinking about them. You talked about 2,162 employees presently. That does not include the number of families that have benefited and worked at your plant since 1966. A lot of people. And they built their homes. They sent their children to school and to college. They bought the health care. They have a better quality of life. Our city has benefited many, many, many ways. So we really appreciate Goodyear. We appreciate the teamwork between management and labor. We appreciate everybody working together for the good of our city and our region. So again, we say thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Under communication and people, you do have the rules attached to how we do our communication in terms of the timing. The clock is here. So anyone who desires to speak on any matter not on the agenda will be heard at this time. If you wish to speak on a matter on the agenda, you will be heard when the matter is considered. Anyone wish to speak? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Reginald Jeffries. I'm a senior at Galileo Magnet High School, and I'm serving my last year on the City of Danville Youth Council. We would like to formally thank each of you for allowing us such a wonderful opportunity to help serve the greater Danville area. It is with great joy and pleasure to update Council that this Saturday, on May 7th, we will be having the first annual City of Danville Youth Day, and it will be beginning with the Youth Athletic Games at the Boys and Girls Club. We have Sheriff Mike Mondul to further explain.
Okay. Welcome, Sheriff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Mr. Whitfield, Mr. Mossy. Greetings. I have 1 minute according to Mr. Jeffrey, so I'll make it short. So we're partnering together with the Youth Council for this Youth Day. We've been doing the Danville Area Youth Athletic Games for 5 years now. It's our 5th year. So in essence, what it is a law enforcement partnership with our young folks, giving them something positive to do. It's at the Boys and Girls Club. Starts at 9:45 with what we're calling a Good Citizens Pledge, where we get the kids together, make them raise the right hand, promise to be good citizens, good members of the community. We give them a good paper, have them sign their name to it, accountability, if you will. That then launches into music, athletic events, which are competitive in nature, 100-yard dash, basketball free throw shoot, jump rope for time, and we added a pull-up event this year, and it's broken down by gender and age categories so that it's fair. The law enforcement officers award the medals, first, second, and third, and the good quality medals to the young folks who are the winners of the events. Just try to build that partnership, and of course, there's music all around, and it beat at the Boys and Girls Club. So that's so happy to be able to partner with Reggie and the Youth Council on this event to have a whole day of youth events. I always hear from, there's nothing for young kids to do here in Danville. Well, here's a great opportunity for those of you out there in the viewing audience to get and do something very positive with law enforcement and with my friend Reggie here. Did I make another amendment?
And then starting at 1 p.m. at the Carrington Pavilion, Youth Council will be presenting the first annual Youth Day extravaganza. And happening at the extravaganza, we will have t-shirts, a positive board making table. We will have the introduction of our city elected officials starting at 2 o'clock. We will also be having giveaways, and the 102 Jams radio station will be live broadcasting from 1 to 3 p.m. and they will also be sponsoring 2 giveaways. So we look forward to each of you joining us this Saturday, May 7th, for the first annual Youth Day, City of Danville Youth Day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak? I'm sorry, for a question, Mr. Raleigh, and then Mr. Gilstrap.
I'd just like to know, Sheriff, what event are you signed up for? The 100-yard dash? Was
I'm
that
doing
it?
the facilitator.
Okay.
I would like to add, Mr. I think that it's a cost-free event. There's no cost to it, and it's a law enforcement partnership between the Pennsylvania County Sheriff's Office, Danville Police Department, Danville Sheriff's Office, Virginia State Police, and the Commonwealth Attorney's offices from the city and the county.
Excellent.
Facilitator.
Mr. Gilstrap, you got a question?
I just want, you said you had age categories. Do you have something for over 65?
We're serving hot dogs.
They're having a shag contest.
I can handle that.
They're having a shag contest.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. Excuse me.
Jones.
I'm sorry.
I just want to say to the Sheriff, you're absolutely right. They say oftentimes there's not a lot to do in our city for our young people. I have attended the Youth Council's meetings, and Reggie, how long have you all been planning this Youth Day?
Since January 1. January 1st. We've been planning this since the beginning of the year.
So I'd like to encourage, Sheriff, thank you so much for partnering with them. I'd like to encourage everybody, please, on this Saturday, go out and support them at the Boys and Girls Club. I see Faith Stamps is here. People are out supporting our young people, so please go out there. You say there's nothing to do. Saturday is a busy day, Boys and Girls Club, and then go to the Carrington Pavilion for t-shirts and 102 Jams.
And cook hot dogs.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Campbell?
Well, I just wanted to commend Youth Council on what you are doing. It's well needed. Also, would like to salute Councilman Alonzo Jones because he was responsible for starting the Youth Council back up. And I'd just like to see more young people engage in what you're doing and to be more effective leaders for the future here in the city of Danville. Just want to salute you.
Okay. Mr. Shanks?
Yeah, Reggie, I just want to say you did a wonderful job with your presentation, and I look forward to seeing you Saturday.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor, members
Good evening.
of council,
Good evening.
members of Danville City staff. Congratulations to all those re-elected and newly elected council members. Mr. Raleigh, wish you nothing but the best of luck in what your future holds
Thank
for you,
you.
and it's been a pleasure working with you and getting to know you. My name is Davis Montgomery. I'm a district manager for Duke Energy. I'm here to provide you with a couple of updates. It's going to be very brief tonight. There's not much going on. I will apologize for being a little bit casual. About mid-afternoon, I traded in my jacket for a sweater and a raincoat. So, that was a really good move on my part, considering everything that's going on. A couple of things real quickly. Brew Grogan Park, if you've been by there, you've noticed that there's a boatload of activity taking place. I can tell you that we have gotten the major elements of that park installed. We're at that point where the weather is, of course, giving us a little bit of a challenge, but we've readjusted our time schedule. Our intention is still to have that park open by Memorial Day weekend. There still will be some concrete to be poured, some ADA accessible ramps to be installed. The deck for the fishing pier is also to be installed, and we're going to wait for dry weather in order to do that. Then there's going to be the general cleanup and the landscaping, the striping of the parking lot. So still a lot of work to do, but a lot has been done already. Hopefully you folks will enjoy those improvements as much as we have enjoyed doing them. The next thing I'll tell you about is a couple of weeks ago, we made an announcement about another seed grant that we made to the Community Foundation of the Dan River region and also to the Rockingham County Community Foundation. That was another $250,000 grant that will be going right here in Danville and the surrounding community. It's very much in line with what we did before, so this will be the second of two $250,000 grants, or a total of $1.5 million here in Danville and another $500,000 in Rockingham County. That's out of our Water Resources Fund, which is the $10 million fund that we created for water-related activities. We pledged in that we would spend a minimum of $1.5 million in the Dan River Basin area. This court, and that is a minimum, that is not a ceiling, so this puts us kind of well on that way towards making that $1.5 million floor. So hopefully that's going to create some more good projects as the first round did, and the Community Foundation did a wonderful job with that process. The last thing I have for you is the Dan River Stakeholder Group. This is a group of individuals from up and down the entire basin, from Stokes County all the way to Carr Reservoir, that have been working on those things that were not addressed by some of the other practices or processes that were out there, the NERDAR process, the DEQ process, or any of the others. So they've been looking at some projects, things that they could do. Mr. Skriniar serves on that team along with Emily Ragsdale, representing this area and folks from up and down the chain. They have settled on a couple of really nice projects, and this, of course, is community-led. It's their project, it's their team. That hopefully you'll be seeing some things out of that. One, of course, that they've settled on is a positive PR campaign for the entire Dan River Basin area. That we have already hired a PR firm out of Greensboro, Bouvier Kelly, that's going to be the firm for that. So they're in the storming and norming and headache stage of getting things started there. So hopefully some good things will be coming out of that. You'll be seeing that very soon. With that is all of the updates that I have for you tonight, unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you as always.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak? Yes, sir, sir.
I apologize. I don't want to take too much of your time. This was an impromptu. Charles Crumpler was supposed to speak to you about a matter involving the House of Hope, which I'm on the board of directors of, which is the homeless shelter right over by Galileo High School. He had to leave a sudden family emergency, and I hope everything's okay with that. So pardon the suddenness of this, me stepping in and taking, he's the chairman. Some time ago, I believe the last council meeting or so, he had expressed some concern about a permit that Mr. Vaughn Wellington had obtained for a car wash, which neighbors of the House of Hope. He came tonight to rescind any objections that he had about the car wash being there, or permits there that pertain there too. So on his behalf, I'm reading his email, that's why I keep looking down. His intent to come here tonight was to rescind on behalf of the House of Hope any objection to that permit, whatever that it was, that the car wash was going to be opened up. It was a misunderstanding and an action on lack of information, we'll call it, before the request was made. So, if there's any questions, and I hope there's none, because I don't have a lot of information about it. Thank you for your time. Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Okay, I see Mr. Taquan Graves in the room. Is this the same event that you were trying to send, but there's some technology issues? If you'd like to come up to tell what that event is, you can do that now if you like. But, I'm sorry? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Under our minutes, is there a motion to approve our April 5th meeting? Motion by Mr. Campbell, second Mr. Raleigh. Discussion of the motion. Please call the roll.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Rowley?
Aye.
Mayor Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogel?
Aye.
Okay, a resolution authorizing the city manager to convey property on Ross Street. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Shanks.
Mayor, I move for adoption of a resolution declaring certain city-owned property to be surplus to the needs of the city of Danville and authorize the city manager to convey such property, being that property on Ross Street.
Okay, a second by Mr. Raleigh. Discussion of the motion. Please call the roll.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Rowley?
Aye.
Mayor Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
An ordinance to adjust rates and charges. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Vice Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose an ordinance adjusting utility rates and charges for electric services effective July 1st, 2016.
Okay, second by Mr. Shanks. Okay, discussion on the motion. First reading. A resolution for the FY 2017 Danville Public School budget. I open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council pleasure, Mr. Raleigh.
Mr. Mayor, before we put a motion in, could I ask a question to Mr. Larkin?
I think we have to get the motion to the floor first. Is that right, Mr. Attorney?
Yes, sir.
All righty.
Okay, Mr. Jones. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution approving the budget of the school board of the city of Danville for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017.
Okay, second by Mr. Buckner. Okay, discussion, Mr. Raleigh.
Yes, sir. Mr. Larkin, we will be able to discuss some of this. This is first reading.
Yes.
We'll be able to discuss some of this in the work session. Is that correct?
Yeah, the intention is to discuss the school budget during work session.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Mr. Gilstrap.
If after the discussion, and I'll address this to Clark, after the discussion and the budget is changed, do we have to come back for an additional public hearing?
No, sir, you will not have to. This serves as the public hearing.
So regardless of what we amend?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, further discussion? First reading. Okay, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city code. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Madam City Clerk, I'm Scott Batson, and this is Mark Johnson with LE&D. We have submitted this subdivision to continue to grow our business here in Danville, and I think the submission's already been approved by or recommended by the Planning Commission. And we wanted to come before you tonight and see if you had any questions about it. I think it's fairly straightforward.
Mr. Shanks.
I think do we need to adopt the ordinance change first?
We probably need to. This is the actual adoption of the ordinance, and your item is up next.
That's correct. That's correct. We understand that, Council. We knew this is, we just want to let you know we're here for
Yes.
both this item and the next item on your agenda.
Another question? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 41 entitled Zoning Ordinance of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986 as amended. More specifically, Article 3.0 entitled LED-1 Light Economic Development District, Section C entitled Uses Permitted by Special Use Permit, by adding number 25 to allow for a waiver of yard requirements and Article 3.K entitled CB-C, Central Business Commercial, Section C entitled Uses Permitted by Special Use Permit by adding item number 28 to allow for car washes.
Second, Mr. Vogler. Discussion on the motion. Please call the roll.
Mr. Gilstrap.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Rowley.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
An ordinance to grant a special use permit on South Main Street. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, I move for adopting an ordinance granting a special use permit for a waiver of yard requirements in accordance with Article 3.0, Section 6C, item number 25 of Code of City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 1750 South Main Street, otherwise known as Grid 1508, Block 005, Parcel 00002 of the City of Danville, Virginia, zoning district map, subject to conditions.
One more time, Mr. Campbell. Second, Mr. Buckner. Discussion on the motion. Please call the roll.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Rowley.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap.
Aye.
An ordinance granting a special use permit on South Ridge Street. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Vogler.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance granting a special use permit for the operation of a car wash in accordance with Article 3K, Section C, item number 28 of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 136 South Ridge Street, otherwise known as Grid 2713, Block 030, Parcel 0000006 of the City of Danville, Virginia zoning district map, subject to conditions.
There is a second by Mr. Rowley. Discussion on the motion. Please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Rowley.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
An ordinance granting a special use permit on Mount Vernon Avenue. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Suzanne Wright, and I'm one of the owners of the property located at 124 Mount Vernon Avenue, Danville, Virginia. To the best of my knowledge, this property was built in 1924 as a duplex. Mr. William Pierce owned the property and rented it for many, many years. My parents purchased the property from Mr. Pierce in October of 1995, and they used the property as a single-family residence. There is a second structure on the property which is a workshop and not fit for human occupancy. There is a driveway as well as on-street parking. The property is currently under contract to be sold subject to the special use permit for the property to be returned to a duplex. The property has the same room count on each level, which includes 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, kitchen, living room, dining room, and sleeping porch. The special use permit is needed since 124 Mount Vernon has not been rented in recent years. The prospective buyer has indicated that he intends to live on the upper floor and rent the lower floor. I appreciate your consideration and I'm eager to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Thank you. Mr. Buckner, I'm sorry.
Just a comment. I've actually looked at that property before, and it's without a doubt a duplex. I couldn't believe that one person lived in such a huge house, but I will be supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Vice Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose an ordinance granting a special use permit for a duplex in accordance with Article 3E, Section C, Item 2 of the Code of the City of Virginia, City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 124 Mount Vernon Avenue, otherwise known as Grid 1719, Block 022, Parcel 00005 of the City of Danville, Virginia zoning district map, subject to conditions.
Second, Mr. Buckner. Discussion on the motion. Please call the roll.
Mr. Rowley.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
An ordinance to rezone a portion of property from suburban residential to highway retail commercial. Open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Buckner.
Mayor, I say we approve an ordinance rezoning from SR suburban residential to conditional HRC highway retail commercial, a portion of parcel ID number 70928, otherwise known as grid 9707, block 006, parcel 00001 of the city of Danville, Virginia zoning map.
Okay, there a second? Mr. Campbell. All right, discussion of the motion. Please call the roll.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Raleigh.
Aye.
Communications, Mr. Manager.
I have nothing this evening, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Attorney.
Couple of things. I forgot to mention when the folks from Goodyear were here, I was a proud member of the Goodyear Golden Eagle Optimus League football team that won the city championship in 1978. I meant to mention that to them. The other thing I
You say
wanted
1917?
1970. Oh, I'd been coaching for 40 years by that time. The other thing I wanted to mention was tomorrow night at 7:30, Saturday night at 7:30, and Sunday at 2:30 are performances of Little Mermaid Junior at the North Star Theater. And if you go, you'll get to see what I believe is a critically acclaimed part played, critically acclaimed seagull played by Mr. Larking's daughter. So she does a really great job with that part.
Okay, thanks for sharing that.
And Clark didn't mention that his son is the starring role of the play as Prince Eric.
Thank you for sharing that as well. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Buckner.
Yeah, I'd like to first off start off by saying congratulations to all my colleagues who were recently reelected, and congratulations to Mr. Madison Whittle, and we look forward to serving with you for the next few years. It's a tough time, and I'm glad I know you're all glad that it's over. You get to breathe for a little while. Just remember that the community market opens this Saturday, and I believe Arnold Hendricks has us cooking some hot dogs this Saturday, different times throughout the day. So make sure you stop by and the time I'm working, because I'm going to make hands down the best hot dogs of the day. Make Danville Shine runs all month long, and make sure you take a part of that. And that's where it kicks off, actually, is at the community market this weekend. Mr. Taekwon Graves sent me an email earlier today and asked if I would speak on this, and it's something I feel very strongly about. The Ceasefire Rally put on by the Save the Youth Foundation. It's May 18th at 6 p.m. It's at the Constance Covington Youth Center. It's sponsored by Save the Youth Incorporated, co-sponsored by the Cardinal Village Tenant Association. And the purpose is to join together and unite and address important topics for the betterment of Danville. We really do need this ceasefire to happen in this town. We as a city have just got to do better. The crime in this town is just unreal, and I'm not saying I have the answers, but it's high time we all put our heads together and come up with something, because this is it's gotten ridiculous. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reverend Campbell.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to thank all the citizens who voted for me to serve another term on city council. I really feel humble, and I love the city, I love the citizens here, and I'm just very thankful. And to all of the candidates, colleagues who were reelected, Mr. Whittle, I'm looking forward to working with the councilman on the next years and terms that's coming up. And I agree with Mr. Buckner, and I salute Mr. Graves and Mr. Jeffries for what they're doing. We have an issue here of crime in our community, and we have to come together. I do feel that, of course, our economics of our community is getting better. We just can't walk away from it. We have to face it, we have to deal with it, and come up with better solutions. This is not the image of Danville. I just don't see Danville a place that is just filled with a lot of crime and shooting. This is beyond our imagination. So I just feel that if we can put our minds and our hands together, we can make a difference. We have to make a difference. We have a great city, we have great leaders, we have great citizens, and let's prove to the world just who we are and what we are made of. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Gilstrap?
I would like to congratulate the incumbents for their reelection. I think that's marvelous, and I'd like to congratulate Madison Whittle, who happens to be here tonight. Look forward to working with you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say that 11 people running for 5 seats, and I attended some of the forums, and I'd like to just say to each one of you all, kudos, a great job. I watched it, and with 11 people, so you all were there sometimes late at night. I also want to say to Madison, congratulations. You ran an excellent campaign. Your team ran an excellent campaign. But to all 11 of those people, as was stated, who took out time to want to make a difference in our community, no mudslinging, I just want to say kudos to everyone, and thank you for running. One of the things that came out of the forums that I heard from many of you all, and I just want to commend you all, was when it came to this subject of violence and the violence in our community, and you've heard it by Councilman Buckner and Councilman Campbell, is very disturbing. But one thing I heard from all 11 persons running for city council was that we need to come together to make something happen and to do something together. A lot of times people, they blog and they Facebook and they said, what is city council doing? We cannot do it by ourselves. We cannot do it by ourselves. One of the things that came out of the forum, and I want to thank Reverend Motley and several of you all talked about conflict resolution. What more can we do in our community to get people to talk to each other, whether it's in the school system, whether it's in the different community organizations, the engagement partners? We all need to come together, and please, let's work together to see Reggie here tonight. Reggie Jeffries here, a young man, and Taekwon. And you got Reggie on one side promoting the youth council, and you got Taekwon on another side, these young people talking about ceasefire. We can do it. These are young people, Mr. Mayor, who are doing positive things. Last night, the mayor and I was at Skate Town. The young people, it was a nice crowd out there. They were behaving themselves. We can do this. We can do this. Again, I just want to say to Jeff Hubbard, who's here, our newly elected city council, school board member. I just promoted you, Jeff. School board member, he's sitting in the back. Jeff, again, when I talk about the excellent campaign that the city council candidates, excellent campaign, and that's how we move our city forward. To Mr. Raleigh, people keep asking me, you work with Mr. Raleigh, his last day is tomorrow? No, he's on council to July the 1st. Three. So I just want to thank you, buddy. It's not only a pleasure serving with you on city council, it's a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
I sincerely appreciate you, and thank you for all that you've done. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Vice Mayor Miller?
I'm not sure it's a promotion to go to city council, but congratulations on the school board. And Mr. Will, you know, the election board declares winners or losers, but I don't think there were any losers. I think everybody wins. When that many people show an interest in participating in the city government and come out and work hard and express their ideas, because, you know, even the ones that were not, some of us that weren't running, we were listening. We were listening to the people. That's where America's great, because so many people want to participate, and we need more participation in our election process. The crime is disturbing. The city council can't do it. The police department can't do it. It requires effort by all of us. It's just appalling. You pick up the paper and 2 more people have been killed. It just tears at your heartstrings. We need to do something. All of us. It's a united effort if we're going to stop this and help this city. This weekend, the community market, Mr. Buckner may think he makes the best hot dogs, but I'm going to produce the healthiest ones. I'm going to have turkey dogs that are healthy for you. So I've been assured that we'll have turkey dogs. And this is Make Danville Shine Month, when it's time to clean up and fix up each year. Something we all look forward to, and something each of us can do to improve our community. And please participate and come out Saturday. It's going to be a great day, great day. Thank you.
Community market cookout. There goes my appetite. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Raleigh?
Mr. Vice Mayor, I've been told if you put enough onion, slaw, and chili on those turkey dogs, you never know the difference. Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to thank the citizens of Danville for turnout. It was a larger than expected turnout, and that's always good. I'd like to congratulate the current sitting council members for being reelected, and Mr. Whittle, congratulations to you. I know y'all will do a great job. And for those who did not get elected, I've always said this, anybody that runs for a public office and puts their self out there to all kinds of either pros or cons, I admire them. And for all of those who did not get elected, you have my deepest admiration for stepping forward. Also, this Saturday, May 7th, is not only Averett's graduation, but 9 years ago on May 7th, Averett announced a new president. It was Dr. Tiffany Franks. And I've heard people say she's probably one of the top 5 hires in the last 10 years in the city of Danville. I couldn't agree more. And I just wish her a happy anniversary of completing 9 years. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Shanks.
Well, I'll go online, jump on board, and also congratulate all the candidates that ran, or all the incumbents that were reelected, and Madison Whittle for his election. I look forward to working with you, Madison, over the next few years. And it's been said before tonight, earlier tonight, but there were quite a few very good candidates, and you can't help but grow close to all of them as you live almost 24 hours at events or debates or forums. But I enjoyed meeting everyone that was involved, and including their campaign staff. And speaking of campaign staff, I know we all depend on volunteers that give all of the time that they do, and I can't say enough to the ones that helped me, and I'm sure y'all all agree with the ones that helped you. So thank you to all the volunteers, and thank you for the citizens of Danville for giving me an opportunity to serve a community that I love for 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Vogel.
Yeah, this is Clean Up, Fix Up, Paint Up month in Danville, and this Saturday we will have the event at the community market, and some of us will be there making hot dogs, and I'll be there doing it as well. And I'm not going to make any predictions about whether mine will be the best or not, but I hope you all will come out and enjoy the event, as well as the youth event for Danville that's going to be from 1 to 3 p.m. at Carrington Pavilion. And also, Councilman Buckner beat me to the punch, but I did want to reiterate the Save the Youth event, which will be a ceasefire rally May 18th at 6 p.m. at Cardinal Village. Really encourage folks to come out and be a part of that. And as many have mentioned, the election that was this Tuesday, I'd like to also congratulate my colleagues on council who were reelected, and Mr. Madison Whittle for the hard-fought campaign that he had, and the fantastic music video that they had going on, and 3 of the musical group that they had are here tonight, and I think that really probably put you over the top, Madison. That video was fantastic. Yeah. Thankfully, Brenda was there to be the lead singer. But I did want to congratulate everyone who was victorious, and to everyone who ran. To have 11 candidates, I think, was the largest field in quite a while, and each one of them contributed something positive to this city and something positive to the discussion. I believe our city is better for it. As Buddy mentioned, the turnout was very good this time for a local election. Obviously, we always want it to be higher, but this was the highest voter turnout in a city council election in over a decade. So there was engagement from the community in this race, and was so happy to see that. I want to thank each and every one of the voters who supported me in this campaign, but also to say those who did not, that the election is now over and we're moving forward. And I want to be a city councilman for all of our citizens, and will work hard to do so, and to work with this entire city council. We're a team, and we as a city are a team, and we still have a lot of challenges in front of us. The road ahead's not always going to be easy, but there's not an obstacle that we can't overcome. And when we're working together, and I think that is the message that we heard from the voters over the past several weeks and on Election Day. They want us to put our differences aside, sit down, and as a community, let's find a way to work together and make Danville a better place for each and every one of us. And I look forward to that in the next 4 years. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Saunders.
I, too, want to say a special hello to the Honorable Jeff Hubbard. Welcome, sir, to the school board and to our council chambers. Feel free to come anytime. Also, a special hello to our friend, Dr. Bruce Sissom, the president of DCC. And for those who didn't know, Dr. Sissom is also a former elected official, so he understands us very well. From Chicago, okay, of all places. So he understands us and these processes. Then again, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But he does have the experience being a former council member. And Madison Widow, congratulations. Look forward to serving with you as well. And I'd like to thank all 11 candidates for seeking elective office. Elections are all about choices. 11 people offered as choices for the voters to make decisions, and they made their decision. So thank you for being a choice for the voters to consider. I also would like to thank all the citizens of Danville for your support over the years. I want to thank the voters who re-elected me just a few days ago. I thank you very much. I have always placed my trust in the voters, and I'm always governed by their decision. That's the way the process is and is supposed to work. I maintain, you're going to hear it 4 more years, Danville is a great city. We are getting better. Yes, we do have issues to work on, and we are working on them. But it's the smaller number, the minute number of people who are causing these negative issues. Sometimes they're the same people, and eventually they will be caught and they will be stopped. I say a special thanks to our law enforcement, our police, our deputies, to our public safety personnel, firefighters, others, and volunteers. Thank you for what you do every day, putting your life on the line, not only for the 43,000 Danville residents, but for the other 75,000 plus who either work in our city or come through our city every single day. When problem comes, most of us go the opposite direction. You men and women go right straight in the center of the problems and offer your lives for the rest of us. And you have families too. In terms of crime in our community, we need our community to help us to resolve this matter. The 9 council members, we are not committing any crime at all. Our law enforcement personnel, public safety, they do not commit crime. They're trying to combat it. And people don't act just like the Maytag man commercial years ago, sit and wait for the phone to ring for a problem. Our law enforcement personnel are out there every day working on preventive measures. And a number of crimes have been stopped before they started because of the preventive measures that our law enforcement personnel are making every single day. They don't get reported. So for those who think that police respond when the phone rings, wrong. They're out there stopping stuff that we don't know about and will never know about, and they don't tell us, and that's the way they work. But when they do call, unlike some other cities, they respond to certain priority calls and not all calls. But in Danville, our law enforcement personnel respond to every single call, whether it be a break-in, a shooting, or a dog bite, or whatever. They respond. So I applaud our men and women in uniform and all of our first responders, our firefighters. They have dangerous situations as well. So I say special thanks to all of them. I also say a special thanks to the 1,100 city employees who serve our citizens and our visitors every single day. Some of you we see often. Some we only see occasionally. Some we have never seen and may never see. But you are providing a valuable service, and we say thank you. But I tell you, when we come together, get to know our neighbors, spend more time with our neighbors, start looking out for others, I assure you, these crime numbers will decrease. They will go down. The month of May, make Danville shine, clean up, fix up. While you're in your yard, front or backyard, cleaning up, while you're painting your home, whatever you're doing, talk to your neighbors across the fence, okay? Have a conversation. Drink a bottle of water together. Get to know each other. Look out for each other. Vacationing season will be starting soon. Look out for each other. Look out for each other. Get to know each other. And when you see something that doesn't look right, say something. Make the phone call. Our men and women in uniform want to know. They want to know. So for 4 more years, you're going to be hearing Sherman Saunders say, wherever I am, Danville is a great city, and we are getting better, and we are. And we're working on all those issues that may be seemingly holding us back. We're simply asking more people to join with us as we paint a positive picture of our city, because the world is watching Danville. We're getting inquiries and visitors from businesses overseas who've never come before, because they are seeing things and they're hearing things, and they're hearing about our training facilities. Danville Community College, for example, among others. So we can't talk about all of the positive things that are happening in the background, because economic development, you hear about it once the contract has been signed. But for those who are thinking about despair, forget it. Forget it. No despair here in Danville. We are making progress. In time, you'll be hearing more. In time, you'll be seeing the evidence. So thank you for electing us. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for believing in us. And thank you for being a part of the great city of Danville, Virginia. Meeting adjourned.